Thank you for joining me. It is Friday, November 28th, 2025. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. The last name system we had, of course, was Melissa. The next name on the list is Nestor and then Olga after that, but I don't see any signs of that. Now, hurricane season goes through the end of November, so just a couple more days left in that. The list holds all the way through the end of the year through December. If there happened to be some kind of strange system trying to develop out there in the month of December, it would still get this list, even though the hurricane season itself is about to end. Usually activity cuts off quite dramatically, and that's what we've seen as we kind of round out the season. Of course, the peak of the season from August, September into October, but hurricane season starts June 1st. And even as we work our way into the month of May before hurricane season, occasionally every other year there's a named system. We've been seeing some stuff a little bit earlier over the last few years, and that's something I'll be tracking over the next few months as we get closer to the start of next hurricane season, kind of what we're looking at together. And I keep an eye on everything year round. You know I've got you covered even as we work our way toward the end and the off season, if you will, of hurricane season. Now we take a look at this, what's going on now. Lots of rain. This is an area where the models, at least a couple of them, were hinting at some development. The American model was trying to develop something in through here, southwestern Caribbean. It's not anymore. The Icon German model was hinting at something as well. But what I've been watching is the increased rain. Providencia, San Andres, parts of Nicaragua, but really along the Caribbean side, parts of Costa Rica and Panama, and even Colombia. That rain around, there'll be pockets of flooding. Some of us dry here, but others deal with some flooding. And again, not seeing any signs of development out of this area, just watching this. Elsewhere, we've been watching a front that's been around. This is the front right now, right across the northern and central Bahamas. The chill is on throughout the day and night in Florida with that front sinking down. Even chillier weather parts of Cuba, especially western and central Cuba, and the front dips all the way down toward the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico, and it will help to draw in some more rain, especially as we get back toward Belize. I want to show you that. The bigger picture, you see the front all the way from Newfoundland down toward Bermuda, back through the Bahamas, that colder air back behind it. And there's going to be two systems trying to draw in moisture from the Gulf through parts of the U.S. I'll show you that as well in this video. Now, watching what we have going on today, this is later today. Here's that front, so some scattered areas of rain. Guatemala, Belize, and parts of Mexico. You see some of that rain on the tail end of it. And here's that additional rain. Colombia back toward the west. Spotty elsewhere. Jamaica, Haiti, Turks and Caicos, Puerto Rico. Hit or miss. Trinidad and Tobago, back through, say, Barbados, St. Kitts and Nevis. Kind of the hit or miss variety of showers. Now, by tomorrow or Saturday, here's that pocket of rain. But again, no signs of development. With that, over toward Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Turks and Caicos, Bahamas, better chance of rain. Still that pocket, Belize and Guatemala. And then you see this rain here, Costa Rica, Panama, parts of Costa Rica and Panama, kind of building back toward parts of northern Venezuela. Watching the ABC Islands, we'll see some of those scattered showers at times. The leftover front sitting over toward the northern Caribbean. And there's some of that moisture we'll be watching. And then as we get back toward St. Vincent, the Grenadines, Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago, keeping an eye on some moisture near Guyana. We'll see how much of that rain kind of filters to the north. So this is what we'll be tracking together through the weekend, and then into next week we'll monitor some isolated areas of flooding. Now, we look to the north, watching this front here. That's the big front. Here's the colder air back behind it. Watching out for some scattered areas of snow. You see snow on the north side of it. Now, what's going on with this big front over here back behind it? Some of that moisture getting pulled in from the Gulf. So you see another system developing here. This one, by the time we get into Sunday, will work its way off toward the east coast of the U.S. Now, I'll be watching as we get into December how far south some of these fronts get, right? Maybe bringing some of the Christmas breeze in some spots. But then you see one system here moving back toward New England and the mid-Atlantic of the U.S. And then look at the rain. Parts of Mexico, Texas building back through Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas as we work our way into Monday. That rain feeds up toward the north. This system is bigger as we work our way into Tuesday. This works its way up toward New England, the Atlantic region of Canada. Could see some severe storms. The front itself draped through Florida, back through the Gulf, but it doesn't get too far down to the south. North side of it, Maine over toward Vermont, New Hampshire, parts of Massachusetts, New York. Significant snow on the north side of this. Back side of it over toward Newfoundland, watching over toward Prince Edward Island as we work our way into Wednesday as that area kind of shifts from the west to the east. Now today, with that front in place, the choppier seas as expected, a little bit bumpier northern and western Caribbean, but through the Gulf, back through the Atlantic waters, higher seas because of that front that has dipped by. Bahamas, we're going to see those choppier seas tomorrow into Sunday, even Monday. The Atlantic passageways will stay on the elevated side all the way into next week. And then we'll be watching that next system moving off the east coast of the United States. So as far as rain goes, scattered areas of rain throughout the Bahamas, where we could have some spots getting about 50 millimeters of rain or 2 inches of rain for a 3-day rain total. Seeing some spotty showers back through Cuba, hit or miss, Jamaica, Cayman Islands. We could get a few brief downpours, some of us nothing, but a few spots may pick up a quick 25 millimeters of rain. Turks and Caicos back through the Dominican Republic, even Haiti, slightly better chance of rain. You see some of the pockets that could be higher than 75 millimeters of rain. Keeping an eye on some scattered areas of rain possible at times. Puerto Rico near the U.S. and British Virgin Islands, Anguilla, St. Martin, St. Barts, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Eustatia, not as much through Montserrat, but Guadeloupe south, a better chance of rain. Antigua and Barbuda kind of hit or miss. We'll see a slightly better chance of rain through here. There's the spot I was mentioning, parts of Guyana, the rain chance going up. Northern Suriname, we'll see how much of this rain kind of tries to get close to Trinidad and Tobago, northeastern Venezuela. We'll be tracking that as we work our way into next week. But you see the pockets of rain. Here's that area of rain we're watching from parts of Venezuela, Colombia, even the ABC Islands. We could have some spots of 50 millimeters of rain right near the water. This is where we'll have some of those higher totals that will push 100 millimeters of rain or 4 inches of rain scattered about Belize, especially closer to the water, parts of the Yucatan Peninsula, Mexico, then west of, or rather east of Mexico City, better chance of rain. Here's that moisture building back toward the U.S. with this next system. Of course, on the north side, this would be some snow as well. This moisture just kind of feeds in from Mexico, lifting up toward parts of East Texas and Louisiana as we work our way with those two systems that will be crossing parts of the U.S. So Jamaica, 40% chance of rain for us as we head through the afternoon, but it does bump up a little bit, a 50% chance as we work our way through the upcoming weekend. Cayman Islands, 30% chance today, and we're looking at a 40% chance through the weekend. Next couple of days, Trinidad and Tobago, 40% chance, but Sunday into next week, we'll be watching some of that moisture near Guyana, kind of how much of that tries to swing in. Meanwhile, Barbados back through St. Lucia, we're looking at a 30% chance of isolated showers as we go through today into the weekend. A 30% chance today and tomorrow in Grenada, so the rain chance not too high. A little bit higher as we work our way towards St. Vincent the Grenadines. We're looking at a 40% chance today and a 30% chance tomorrow. Martinique, rain chance at 30%. We do that again in Dominica. The next 3 days, that isolated variety, a 30% chance for the next couple of days in Guadeloupe. Sunday will be up to about a 40% chance. Antigua, Barbuda, 40% chance today, 30% chance tomorrow, and a 20% chance on Sunday, 30% chance through the weekend. St. Kitts and Nevis and Montserrat. Isolated chance of a shower, Anguilla and St. Barts. St. Martin, Saba and Statia, 30% chance the next 2 days. Goes down even further by Sunday. We're down to a 20% chance. Puerto Rico, the better chance of rain would be around today, scattered about over the next day to about day and a half. Some of us getting a few downpours. 40% chance today, U.S. and British Virgin Islands, and a 30% chance for tomorrow. Bahamas, scattered areas of rain. Again, some of the chillier nights, especially in the northern Bahamas, but still watching out for some scattered areas of rain. And look how it builds through the weekend with that front dropping in, at least close by. A better chance of rain this weekend. Turks and Caicos and the Dominican Republic, rain chances up to about 50%. Build some on Sunday, about a 40, maybe 50% chance in Haiti for the second half of the weekend. Belize, closer to the water, closer to the Caribbean. That's where we have a better chance of rain. Watching out for some isolated flooding and holding out to 40, maybe 50% chance of rain. Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire. And you see how it does build some in the ABC Islands as we go through the weekend. Some of that moisture from Colombia and Venezuela will be lifting up to the north. Meanwhile, Guyana, we're staying active with that elevated chance of rain. Even that 40 to 50% chance, especially northern and northwestern sections of Suriname. Cuba, rain chance holding at 30% with some chilly nights, especially western end of Cuba. Costa Rica and Panama, as I've been mentioning, even Nicaragua, closer to the water. That's where we have a better chance of the flooding. Watching Providencia, San Andreas, as I showed you earlier, Colombian islands. Honduras, rain chance holding at 50% the next few days. 20 to 30% chance Guatemala and El Salvador. A little bit more in Guatemala as we build back toward Belize. Mexico City, rain chance staying on the small side, looking at that 30 to 40% chance across the Yucatan Peninsula, Mexico, 50 to 60% chance in northern sections of Colombia, northern Venezuela, rain chance building as we work our way deeper into the weekend. In Bermuda, one front passing by, then we catch a break, then another front will be clipping by, kind of those on and off passing fronts. We are in that pattern. So front drops in from the north, rain building, I mentioned near Belize, Guatemala, and then as we get into the southwestern Caribbean. So we'll keep an eye on some areas of flooding, and I want to update the December outlook. I'm putting together some information on that behind the scenes. I'll have that in some upcoming videos. So thank you for being part of this weather community. I hope you're doing well, and have a good weekend ahead.